So hi everybody, welcome back to 20 Days of Healing. I'm your host, I'm Vicky Poole, and I am so happy to be here today with Cristina. She is my acupuncturist and she's done wonders for me in the past. And as I promised to you guys, I was going to be introducing you to the most amazing people who have had an effect on my life. And I can say hand on heart that I wouldn't be the person that I am today without spending a couple of months with Cristina. So hi Cristina, how you doing?
Hi, thank you, Vicky. Thank you for your kind words. And hi everyone, thank you for listening. It's lovely, it's really good to be here. So I'm really excited.
Fantastic. So Cristina, you're not just an acupuncturist, you have your own clinic and you're a teacher as well, right?
I do a little bit of teaching and I have a clinic and it's the best thing I've ever done. I love my job. It's really fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I know that I've thoroughly enjoyed coming to see you over the last few months as well. And I was so pleased to come and see you during COVID, especially because that was a very difficult time for me. So I know that everyone's dying to know, what kind of things do you see coming up with your clients?
You mean during COVID at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, mainly people with musculoskeletal problems like neck pain, upper shoulder, lower backache, headaches as well, especially related to sort of working at home, spending a lot of time on the computer. But I would say perhaps 80-90% of my clients have got some level of anxiety, insomnia, low mood, stress. Emotions are all over the place, as we all know. It's really difficult times. And even if they come with sort of lower back pain, for example, there is always an emotional element behind. So that's what I'm working with, as you know. It's a holistic sort of treatment. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And how does acupuncture actually work?
Okay, so in sort of in the Chinese language, in the Chinese world, everything is about balance and about flow. So if you imagine pain, for when you have pain, you sort of tense your muscles, and you are not perhaps the movement is restricted and you're not letting the blood flow to get through to the area. So that results in sort of stagnation and pain. So that's how you would explain sort of physical pain or so in Chinese medicine, anything to do with a blockage, it leads to an imbalance. So in terms of emotions as well, emotions should flow. They are not positive or negative emotions. You have to have sadness to have joy, and everything should flow. Just come and go. But when an emotion gets stuck, that's when the problem begins. That's when you get sort of mental health issues. And what acupuncture does is sort of acupuncture points, or putting needles on acupuncture points, are almost like unplugging a sink that is blocked. So it's like a plunger, and that's what you do. You just get everything flowing. Okay. I don't know if it makes sense.
I think it does. I think it does. Yeah. So I know that there are lots of different channels on the body, and I know that you like my hands a lot for channels, and that's where you stab me a lot. And how does sticking a needle in my wrist affect something in my tummy? How does that work?
Yeah, there are lots of, I mean, science hasn't really been able to explain it fully. There are lots of different theories, but from the sort of Western point of view, they haven't been able to isolate the channels, but they've been able to trace them with radioactivity. So there's something going on which might be linked with the connective tissue, which is sort of the tissue that sort of protects all the structures in our body. So, and there is a link with the nervous system. So that's why you can sort of use a point on your hand to treat headache, for example, because it sort of connects the body somehow with,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So I know that. So how long have you been working in your clinic? I do know this. I've just completely forgotten.
Yeah, let me think about it. It's been about 7, 8 years. Yeah,
7, 8
8 years
years.
now.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know from coming to your clinic that it's literally one in, one out. You're very, very busy. What kind of successes have you had with your clients?
I treat all sorts of things. I do a lot of fertility, a lot of mental health, a lot of sort of aches and pains. You get people who have tried everything before and come with the weirdest issues that no one can solve. And Chinese medicine has got a way of linking odd things together and finding sort of a pattern, and yeah, and you can treat all sorts of things. So yeah, it's quite exciting. Really, it's a lot of, yeah, it is a challenge, and it's just thinking outside the box, really.
I know from when we spoke earlier that you see yourself as a healer, and that's why you left your job as a pharmacist to become an acupuncturist, because you want to heal. And I have to pick at this thread. I do so much. What's the weirdest thing that you've had someone come into your clinic with, and how have you helped them?
Oh, the weirdest thing. There are lots of weird things. There are lots of weird cases, and I don't really want to. It's all sort of confidential. All I will say, maybe not weird, but for me, the most amazing, for me, the best results are when the person that I'm treating starts learning about how to listen to the bodies, start understanding sort of the bodies and the health from a different point of view. How we are linked, how we are sort of part of the universe, we are part of nature. You can observe nature and you can understand the way your body and your emotions work. And with the beauty of acupuncture is that once you get things flowing, you can start thinking in a different way. You feel better. You experienced it. You sort of feel more yourself, and you can start making changes. And for me, the amazing thing is when someone comes with, for example, with anxiety and makes a complete change in their life, like, leaving their jobs or moving countries or finding a new partner. It just opens up sort of your soul, and you start learning more about yourself and understanding more about your connections, and you can make lifestyle changes that can last and can really take you to a different level. So that's for me, that's my aim, really. It's not just to cure headaches or to help someone get pregnant. It's to also help them progress within themselves.
Yeah, I love that, and I hear that progression in themselves. And I mean, this week is about is about self-help. And I said it earlier on in the week that it's not about self-help. It's about recognizing when you need to help yourself.
Yes.
And sometimes it's not just about taking some pills. It's not about taking paracetamol. It's actually about listening to your body. And we do have another speaker this week who's a craniologist who is just amazing. So I'm going to send you the link for that, Cristina.
Oh, great.
I remember actually when I came to see you when I lost my mum, and you put some needles on my back, which were they cleansing needles, when you put the points down my back.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can quickly just go through how that works. I personally found that really, really enlightening, because I was so stuck until I came to see you for that. And then everything over that, so I came to see you on the Friday, and then everything shifted on the Saturday, and I actually felt so much better about losing someone so close to us.
Again, it's about getting things moving and drawing out anything that's holding So that's how I got into acupuncture, because I had a similar experience. Sometimes you are so low that you can't see any way out. No matter, your head might be telling you what to do, but in your heart, you just haven't got the strength, you haven't got the vision, you haven't got the drive. You don't know where to start. You're in such a dark space, and the needles, because it just creates a flow in your body, and mind, and the physical, and the spiritual, and the sort of the emotional side of it's all the same. It's all about flowing, about free flow. And once you get things going, you can actually, it's just like you can start to make changes, and suddenly you can see things in a different way, can't you? It's just like a light switch. You suddenly feel things, you feel different, don't you? It's just it's hard to explain.
I hear it's difficult to explain, and I know that there's something that you can do yourself, isn't it? It's called acupressure.
Yes. So
yeah, which is what we're supposed to be talking about today.
Yes.
This has been so valuable, but you know me, I can keep the conversation going by myself in a locked room. So to talk through some acupressure points, we talked initially about some points on your hand for stress, but there are other points and other things that you can do to help, right?
So basically, acupressure is stimulating acupuncture points with your fingers, or putting pressure. You can use anything. You can use your fingers, you can use the tip of a pen, you can use a tennis ball. It's just a stimulating point, or like the wristbands that they sell for morning sickness. It's the same. But before we start with acupressure points, I know, Vicky, that you talked about breathing.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Which I think is extremely important. And I know you have someone else as well.
Yep, Teresa Carter. Next. Yep, she's talking about breathing as well.
So Teresa will be talking about breathing as well. So I'm not going to get into it, but it is extremely important to breathe, especially to deep breathe, because as well as sort of bringing oxygen and nutrients to your body, and sort of using your lungs to a fuller sort of capacity, you're also giving your internal organs a massage. So it's important to keep things moving inside and out. So that's why sort of gentle exercise is good, moving around, but also keeping everything inside moving. Yeah. So when we get stuck, that's what I was talking about. There's a stagnation, which leads to pain. So for acupressure, when you do acupressure points, it's really, really important to breathe well. And watch Vicky's video. I think you talked about sort of deep breathing through your belly. And I think Teresa is going to talk about sort of the
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be really, really useful. And you could apply that while you do acupressure. Another thing during COVID, what I've noticed during this second lockdown, I'm quite busy, and most of my clients, I can feel a lot of grief. There is a lot of grief, and there is a lot of frustration. There is a point here, which is the first point of the lung, and it's good for grief. It's important to keep your lungs open. Yeah. So before we start, if you can all sort of concentrate on your breathing and make sure you're breathing through your belly, and also check your posture. It is really important to stand straight. So you can always stand against the wall and make sure that your shoulders are touching. So we should be standing straight up. Especially when you feel sad, when you feel grief, we sort of tend to roll inwards, don't we? So we are not really letting any airflow here. We are sort of contracting these muscles. So you are sort of oppressing your lungs and your heart. So it's really important to keep an open posture and keep breathing. Make sure you're breathing all the way to here. So if you sort of can picture your breath reaching sort of almost your shoulders, yeah? And with a good posture and a good breathing, start tapping here. It's like like a monkey, a monkey. Just there. Just.
What happens if you're like me and got an extra few pounds?
It's fine. Is it hurt? Is it painful?
No. But
no?
Am I hitting the right spot? Is it just inside the shoulder?
So, yes. So just below the clavicle, just in that sort of, yeah. So just tap, and you could do this every morning or twice a day, just to sort of stimulate this area and remind yourself that, you know, to keep this open and flowing. Yeah, it's all about flow. I want you to remember, everything is about flow. Keep everything going. Okay. For those of you who are frustrated, a lot of us are feeling frustrated, you know, with this lockdown, on not being able to get out to see. Okay, so yeah, so we are tapping on the ribs, yeah? So all along the ribs, on the side, on the back. Yeah, remember that you've got the liver and the spleen just below, on just around here. So you need to keep all this flowing as well. Okay, get this moving. So those two, start with those two, carry on with your breathing. And for those of you who are feeling anxious, there's a really good point between your eyebrows, just there in the middle. So when you find it, press it until you feel an ache. You should feel a bit of an ache. And breathe, deep breathing for 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes with your finger pressed. This is a very, very relaxing point. It will really sort of settle you.
And how long would we do the shoulder taps and the tummy tapping for?
Again, a minute or two until you get bored. For a couple of minutes.
Very technical, Cristina, until you get bored. It's fine.
A couple of minutes.
A couple of minutes.
And there is another point. So if you go up right in the middle, all the way to your hairline, just there. This is a really good point as well to sort of center you and ground you. Again, you can press it for 2 minutes and make sure you breathe. I think if you could follow Teresa's sort of breathing technique, that would be amazing. That would really help. These are 2 good points to do.
These ones are for anxiety.
For anxiety.
Stress, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to wandering around a town centre and seeing people doing this.
And this.
And this. Yeah, why not? Why not? That's brilliant.
But, yeah. Well, I hope it helps. It's really, honestly, I keep saying it, but keep things flowing. Keep your mind flowing as well. Now, we have an opportunity it's a time to start thinking outside the box, to create new things. Yeah, do something creative. Use your mind. You know, look inwards. Try to learn more about yourself. It's a time of sort of holding, isn't it? It's winter, and we are stuck at home. So make the most of it, because when the spring comes, you can start new projects. So get ready for that. That's my advice.
Fantastic. So I'm hearing there about being able to get yourself mentally and physically ready for summer. And I would offer an extension to that, which is this is a really great tool to help yourself in those moments of need.
Yes.
So that you can be the best person that you can be. And I don't know whether or not we haven't covered this, Cristina, but there's a couple of points on your hand that I know that I found really useful in a work environment when I was back in the office, and I would be getting really, really stressed, and I could do it under the table so no one could really see what I was doing.
Okay.
I know, and we've only got a couple of minutes left in the brown bag lunch, and I was wondering if we could quickly share that. The 2 on the hand.
Yes, we all have slightly different points, so there's no point that fits all, really. But for example, there's a point here, sort of on the joint, on the wrist. Just sort of below the little finger. And if you find there's a tendon here. Yeah. And just sort of inside of the tendon. You could press this point. This is a very good point to help sleep as well. It's very relaxing. So you could try to press it before you go to bed. And I think it would help a lot of us because it's good for shock as well. And we are a bit in shock with what's been going on lately. So this is a very relaxing point. Can you find it, Vicky?
I can. Okay. It feels, I haven't used this one before. It feels good. It feels good. Okay.
Well, you've got an extra one.
I do. I have an extra one. Brilliant.
Well, yeah.
Cristina, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been really useful chatting to you, and I'm sure that all of the viewers will find it useful. So this is Cristina from Earley Acupuncture Clinic. I'm Vicky from Vicky Poole Coaching. If you've got any comments, questions or queries, pop it in the comments below and we'll get in touch with you. You can follow myself on Twitter and Facebook at Vicky Poole Coach. And you can join my Facebook group, which is called Flourishing Together. Be in touch soon and let me know what you think of the video. Much love and God bless. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye.